everybody. We want to welcome you back to mindworksforme.com. This is our second YouTube video. We're going to try to make this one a little bit quicker. We're, again, trying to release content every Wednesday at 5 o'clock. So if you could check back to our YouTube page, Facebook, we'll be sharing out those links as soon as we have opportunities to do it. But today is all about the three principles: mind, thought, and consciousness. And kind of in this pandemic environment, where do we see it? So, what have been some experiences that you're seeing it firsthand? So we'll just popcorn this, you guys. So whoever wants to go first. Ben, I know you went to the store today, I believe, right?
I did go to the store. There's worry all around us, and it's okay to be worried. I don't think it's okay to live in that space, and I think that's up to each of us. So, I went to the store. There's a heightened sense of worry. Everyone's wearing the mask. I'm feeling anxious going into the store. I want to get in and out very quickly. So there's that sense of anxiousness. There are these blue lines that direct you which way to go so that you're flowing. And, I think, Iowans are being responsible. We're not all going into the store, so it wasn't very busy. But, as I'm going down this aisle, there are two people in front of me, and I'm going down the right direction. The arrow is facing that direction. So I'm behind these two people, and I'm keeping my distance. I'm 6 feet away, but I have to get to the middle of the aisle. They're shopping. They're looking at the shelves. They're seeing what's, and I'm like, I want to get out of the store. I'm feeling the sense of anxiousness. And when we talk about the three principles, so much of it has to do with the way that we choose to feel. I don't want to feel anxious. So it's about searching your thoughts as to why you're feeling a certain way. And as I started to think about my thinking, I did become aware that, look, I get it. These people, this is their first time, in a pandemic. They probably are unaware that they have somebody right behind them that's waiting to get by. They had no idea. And so as I started thinking differently about the event, the feeling began to change. And while I was trying to get out of there as quickly as possible, I was also thinking to myself, look, you are keeping your distance. I had a scarf over my face. I'm doing everything that I can, and I'm just going to wait patiently for these people to move along, and they did, and I got what I needed to do. But when you sense that feeling happening, that's the awareness piece of the three principles. That's that consciousness piece. You catch the thought as quickly as you can, and the more you do it, the better you get at it. I think the better you're going to feel, even in times of a pandemic.
I also went shopping yesterday, and I went at 7:45, and it closes at 8 now. And I was like, that was my main goal too. I was just like you, Ben. The thought process I was going through, like, get in, get out, don't look at anybody, don't breathe on anybody. But the thoughts of just like, I knew the 6 or 7 items that I needed to get. One happened to be ketchup, and somebody was standing in front of the ketchup. Like, what an awkward moment that was for me to just like have to be like, I'm going to reach for this right now. And it's totally different experience, right? And all based on all the thinking that's happening right now. So I hear you on that. So.
Well, and I feel like we're wondering what the other person's thinking too. Is that person getting a little bit too close to me? Are they holding their breath as I walk past? There are so many thoughts that are going on in our head. I've had a couple of, I would call them small nervous breakdowns in the last week. I know Ben was talking about this sense of anxiousness that I think that we're all feeling and trying to get out of that headspace. But just homeschooling a lot of kids and district expectations for teachers, but also for parents. And they're not expectations, they're enrichment opportunities. And I have to keep reminding myself of that these aren't requirements for my kids. And I can kind of let a lot of it go. I've been reading a lot of things from different parents who are homeschooling, and there's a sense of anxiety about what we're supposed to be doing and who's doing it best and how we can do it better. And I've spent a lot of time in my head trying to let it go and let control of things that I can't necessarily control. But today I woke up in an awesome mood, and I took the kids to Jester Park, and it was one of the best days that I've had in a long time because we didn't have any expectations to do any math. We didn't have any expectations to get online and to Zoom with people at certain times necessarily. We just had a really good day outside. And the kids were great. We picnicked, we saw elks, we saw bison, and we played hide and seek in the prairie grass, and it was just amazing. And we called it science and PE. And it was peaceful, and I felt good. And then I came home, and I realized that Will had spilled a smoothie all over the carpet downstairs. And I think it was Greta who might have spilled a milkshake in Will's bathroom a couple of days ago, and there was still a bunch of milkshake all over the wall. And I automatically got in a really red-black space in my head. And I had to make a conscious decision to put myself back in that prairie land. We had a good day. I'm not even going to address it today. I'm going to talk to them about it tomorrow, because today's a good day and I don't want to ruin that memory in their head or in mine. And I had to make the decision to let it go. It really wasn't that important in the long run. So 3P moment.
Well, I think that's where you see it so much right now, because expectation. We've talked about this on a couple of our podcasts. What are your expectations for yourself in this? Melissa, I hear you saying, like, I want to be a good mom. I want to be a good homeschool teacher. I still want to do my responsibilities as a regular teacher, for my, you have all of these things that are pressures and thoughts that are running through your mind. I had a great dialogue with a friend of mine that just basically, they wanted to do the yeah, but, we always talk about those in our class. Well, yeah, but this. And you guys are educators. You're sitting at home. You just have, your main job is have to stay at home. And they're a frontline worker, so they're working in directly with patients, actually elderly patients in a nursing home, and kind of were offended by the message that we're saying. And I was like, okay, help me understand that a little bit further. Well, it's easy for you in your circumstances to be saying that you should think differently or slow down, because I don't have that choice. And I think that's where a lot of people come from. They think that they don't have a choice. And I think for me, it was just a matter of saying, it doesn't matter where you are right now, whether you are just in shelter in place and your only job is to sit at home, or if you're a frontline worker, the 3 principles can impact you, that your thinking is impacting you all the time. And we came to resolution on that. We understood where everybody was coming from. But, we've had that conversation in our classes before, where someone is so caught up, so swept up in their thinking that they don't see that they actually can control it, even in the most dire of situations. Because we're never going to minimize human experience, because it always has an impact. But in this particular instance, there is still a choice. We've talked about that before.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Melissa.
No, go ahead, Ben.
Well, we're all experiencing this very differently. And so we all have our stories. My parents are trying to get back from California. They now have a date where they're going to be traveling. Lots of thoughts about that. And if you're not careful, your thoughts are going to run away from you. And you're sitting there in front of the TV for 10 or 15 minutes, and pretty soon you have no idea what you're watching. You are so consumed with thought, and you're not even aware of it. And so this happened just the other day, where I started thinking about, I'm going to be the one that's going to have to pick them up from the airport. I can't hug them. I have to keep I actually thought about putting up some sort of a plexiglass in the car, right? And my thoughts were running and running and running away from me. And then I was like, I caught it. I'm like, dude, look, you got until May 5th. Control the things that you can control. I got online. I ordered some masks. I'm going to get dishwashing gloves from the grocery store. And when it comes, I'll deal with it. But, part of what anxiety is worrying about the things that haven't happened yet. And control the things you control. And when it happens, then you give it the due diligence.
Yeah, and I think in this circumstance, Melissa, you pointed this out, we were making up the story for the other person too. Mm-hmm. What's the other person thinking? Oh, I bet they're thinking this. Oh, I bet they're thinking this. Like our famous line is, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks right now. It doesn't. And I'm experiencing that now at the education side of the world, trying to keep people calm, keeping the expectations low. Like, this is going to be known as the Corona semester, no matter what happens. And you know what? People will give everyone grace. So that's kind of the lens that I'm trying to go through, and that's helping me. And I'm trying to move out of this home. Like, we sold this house, and April 16th is the move date, and I still have no idea if that's actually going to happen or not. But I could sit and worry about it the whole time, or I could watch Ozarks, which I did start watching, and it's amazing. It's a great show.
So both of you are talking about things that we plan for, right? Ben, you're talking about May 5, and Mitch, you're talking about your move out date. I'm definitely a planner. I like to know what I'm going to have the next night to eat. I like to know what we're doing on Friday night or Saturday night. I like to plan things out. And one thing that's been a little bit hard for me over the last few weeks is not having a plan. We don't know what date we're going back to school. And so the infinity right now of it all has been kind of stressing me out. But I decided to look at that a little bit differently today. Again, the open wide prairies today did something to my head. It was good. I decided to look at that differently today. Normally, when I have a break from school, I count down how many days I have left, and the counting down actually stresses me out. It's not a positive thing for me. It's more of a like, oh my gosh, I only have 11 more days to finish this project, or oh my gosh, I only have 11 more days to read as many books as I want, or to relax. I can't count down now because there isn't a date. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. That's kind of a good freeing thing. And it reminds me of James Taylor and his song called The Secret of Life. And he talks about how the secret of life is enjoying the passage of time. And I love that. And so I need to get that in my head more and keep reminding myself of that. It's not necessarily a bad thing that I don't have a date to plan for. And put a positive spin on it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, and like I said, new routines, right? Like, I'm experiencing new custody situations with my girls, and so there's days when I have them, there's days when I don't. But the days that I do, we do a hot tub night now, you know, and that's something that we haven't been doing, but it's just now part of our routine that kind of gets us ready for the end of the day. And I can't say that I ever used to have the time to do that, but it's been a really, really nice piece of our schedule now. So
that's awesome.
I know we're winding down. We're coming into the final descent. Can I just share two quick things and I'll be done? One, I was riding my bike the other day, and the street narrows, the path narrows, and I actually had to get on the sidewalk. I didn't know this, but you know, if you're riding a bike, you're not supposed to be on the sidewalk. And there was a woman, she was a little bit older, she's about 200 yards away, and as we were getting closer and closer, I timed it perfectly so that as she entered the driveway and I entered the driveway from the other side, we could keep our distance. I was doing everything that I thought I was supposed to be doing, and she literally was scolding me. She pointed her finger, she was scolding at me and telling me something about, because I had my headphones and I couldn't hear anything. But I got to choose how I was going to think about that situation. And right away, I was like, you know what? I don't know her story. I don't know if somebody in her family, or if she had a dog that was hit by a biker on a sidewalk. I don't know those things. So I took it with grace. And I think that during this time period, we all need to do that. The only other thing I was going to say is, you know, Melissa, when you said that you just woke up and you were in this awesome mood, that's the beauty of the three principles. You can get there and be in the greatest mood that you want to be in, with the simplicity of choosing the right thought. And again, the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. There's that scientific term neuroplasticity that we talk about in our class, but that's what we want. And so we hope that if people are watching this, and if they're at all interested in principles, we would love to hear from you.
So I'm trying to get get to the screen share and get to our Facebook page here. Because we, you know, every time we've had a little opportunity to just kind of share some of our information and just more resources. And so again, just want to remind people that Mindworx with an X, and this is this Facebook page. The cool thing about this page is that, you know, if you're not interested in listening to us, there's just a lot of opportunities to go in. People have posted different video clips, memes, all kinds of stuff that just try to refocus yourself on your thinking and try to just give you some new insights on that. So just trying to direct people to where some resources are around the 3 principles, and again, specifically for Mindworx. So guys, just, like I said, we wanted to keep this one kind of short today. Is there any last parting comments that you want to make as we head into next week? Or any goals that you're setting for yourself?
I recognize more and more that we are all in this together. My worries about my family, Mitch, you've got worries about yours, Melissa, yours, and there are people that I don't know, at the store. They've got the same worries that we do, and we're all the same, and that's part of the beauty of the 3 principles, is that understanding. That
big energy. Hey, and I was pretty excited too. We put some new content out. We're going to call those our Mindworx Minutes, right? Our little video vignettes. And again, those are going to be located on our Facebook page too. So got a chance to share and watch both of yours this week. And just want to make sure people are kind of watching out for those as well.
I just wanted to say, give each other grace, because I think a lot of us are maybe saying and doing things and acting in ways that we wouldn't normally, because we're put in a situation that we haven't experienced before. And we've said that a million times. It's unprecedented, but give each other grace and know that we're all doing our best.
All right.
You guys are awesome.
Hey, you're awesome. Thanks for chit-chatting, guys. And like I said, we'll see you again next week, 5 o'clock on Wednesday.
Awesome. Loving it.
Have a good night, you guys.
You too.
Bye.